welcome our last speaker of the day, Pasi Savola from Danfoss.
Okay, can you hear my one clear voice? Yeah? Okay. I would like to add here in your slogan, one clear voice even after a karaoke night. All right. So, lucky to have my voice still, and lucky to be the so-called wisest guy in the room, or of the presentators, because I'm the last one. I've heard everybody's now, gathered some knowledge, changed my presentations hundreds of times now. No, but anyway, like really, really good things. I also like Ute very much. I like Melissa a lot. The other guys from Philips, Volvo, really nice presentations. And I'm a full-hearted TechCom guy, so to me, shorter is better, less is more. So I try to be compact and not talk very much, but like show a bit more on where we are going with the content. All right? So first, a couple of slides, the necessary company data. Last year, I was doing the presentation as well. I didn't have any slides for Danfoss. I thought to include a couple of those this year. Rather well-known brand, I think, especially for the thermostats. I think that's the most known product people know about Danfoss. About 25,000 employees in the whole group, worldwide. Top 3 markets are there. Private company, headquarters in a very small city of Nordborg, Denmark. 2 years ago, sales were 5.3. I think last year we were around 6.2 or something like that. Long history, founded 1933 by a single guy in Nordborg, where the headquarters still is. From a solo enterprise into a world leader. And these kind of products that you can see here are the ones we are proudly manufacturing. So we are divided into 4 business segments, and I'm representing drives here. So I'll tell a little bit more about drives, but related to, let's say, TechDoc, CMS, Acrolinks, DITA, all that. Drives is a forerunner at Danfoss. We've had a structured documentation system already for 12 years, I think. We have upgraded that to TechPub Studio. I'll show you more about that. I know that cooling is moving to the same system. They are also moving to Acrolinks, according to them. I tried to have my counterpart from cooling attending here, but he was too busy, unfortunately. Heating, also interested in Acrolinks. Power solutions as well. So as a group, we are getting there. Drives in business numbers shortly. So we are about 5,000 people, so 1/4 of the whole group. And the world's first frequency converter was developed by Danfoss, 1968. We have a global presence, partner companies, more than 1,000. Even our power modules equip electric cars really in a big amount. Our main product is, of course, the drive, and a little bit more about that. The drives are these rather non-sexy boxes, but like our friends at KONE, which is, by the way, one of our biggest customers. So if you use KONE's elevators or escalators, our drive is somewhere there controlling that. If I would describe what a drive does, in an elevator, it's easy to know. When it stops smoothly, it's controlled by a drive. Without a drive, it would stop like this, and you would have some problems maybe with your neck or something like that. Other industries that we serve, of course, are here mentioned. So quite a large scale of different businesses where our drives are saving energy, are saving the process, and as a product, they are green. All right? Then I'll jump into my unit. So, as I mentioned, I'm a TechCom guy. And at Danfoss Drives, we'd like to define our function in one word, not one word, but one sentence, so that we enrich the raw product information into unambiguous, well-structured and consistent product guidance. Using the topic-based authoring principles, modular content management system, and of course, to all the necessary languages as well. There are different subtasks in our team, and shortly about those. First of all, the actual technical writing, naturally. We do proofreading, so outside acrolinks check, we also do a human proofreading before releasing the documents. We do a release check, that's a different check, and then we do the actual release, which is in our organization not so simple as it sounds, because we have to classify the documents according to very accurate parameters or attributes, so that our documents can be found from the web, from our product store, from our product configurator in the net. So our customers can configure their drive while making the purchase. So all that creates quite a lot of release steps. Which is important today, linguistics and terminology. And we do have that function as well. We don't have 2 full-time terminologists, envy. We don't have 15 part-time terminologists, more envy, but a little bit more about that. We do, of course, translation coordination. We translate to about 34 languages at the moment. We develop the CMS, that's one role in our team. Of course, digitalization, which is a big mega trend also in our business. And finally, we also release other documents that are not created by our team, like the certificates, drawings, individual product drawings, and all that. And in this picture, you can see, again, I like to bring up the acrolinks sort of touch points. So all these, and especially these 3 ones, are strongly and heavily related to acrolinks. Last year, I mentioned the history a little bit. I don't have that slide here, but we've had acrolinks since 2011, when we did the selection of the vendor, and ended up with acrolinks for many reasons. Last year, I might have mentioned a comparison to Ferrari. That's still valid. I was presenting or consulting a company in Finland called Happy or Not. They are the company who makes these smiley face click systems. And when I mentioned that we use acrolinks, their linguist sort of said, "Oh, you have acrolinks." That was nice to hear. Okay, so here pops up 2 words, unambiguous, consistent, of course, related to this conference's topics. How we are organized, I wanted to bring this up as well because I've heard quite a lot of different setups. At Danfoss Drives, we are, in a way, really lucky. We are part of global marketing and business development. As you know and heard, some other companies are totally different in that way. They have marketing on the other end and TechCom on the second end of the building or something like that. So that's really a good thing. Under this function, who reports to our segment president, who reports to Danfoss CEO, we have a unit called Digital Customer Experience. This was a change we did 2 years ago. And TechCom is part of that function. It could be a part of this function as well. There's another box, Content and Concepts, which is actually the Marcom team. But we decided that digitalization is a really, really important thing, so we are located here. When it comes to the content governance and a dream that could we have a chief content officer in the company who would be in this group, in the leadership team. That would be a really nice thing, but we don't have that. So the highest content decisions are actually made here or even here. Okay? A little bit more about my organization. We have divided our team into two different departments or units. This one we call the actual technical documentation team. These persons are 100% technical writers. And there's one who is a super user of our CMS. There are others who are concentrated on different product lines, but they all do the 100% technical writing, of course, dealing with acrolinks daily. And when these guys have finished the English master documents, the responsibility is shifted to this side of the team, reporting to me, where we coordinate the translations, we do the release stuff, we do UX things, etc., digital content coordination, we do terminology management, and there's our acrolinks super user there. And we also do, with our partner, we do the standalone product technical illustrations. That resource we don't have in our internal team. So then we still have a hub in India who are doing 100% work for TechCom team. They do DTP work, they coordinate translations, and they dotted line report to my team's translation manager. So this is our organization, not a lot. Again, numbers like 70 technical writers or something like that. Even how many was some presentation. So these numbers haunt me a little bit now. So in a company of Drives being 5,000 workers, the TechCom team is actually really small. All right? Again here pops up acrolinks super user. Globally, we are present in several countries. You can see that Finnish and Danish hubs are the biggest ones. We have one person in China, two in US, one in UK, and the India team, of course, located in Chennai, India. We like to be located near the product management. Product managers are the closest stakeholders for us. Shortly about the system, as I mentioned, we have full data system called Teamcenter TPS. TPS comes from the product name TechPub Studio. That was selected a couple of years ago. We still do some migration. Most of it has been done. There's a lot of good things there, so I'm not going deep into that details. Modular approach, everything rotating in the same, around the same system, all those benefits are there. Then, of course, acrolinks control and term browser functionality as well. We have defined some focus areas this year, actually. We wanted to pinpoint some areas that we'd like to focus on, even in TechCom. First of all, the content itself. All those things related to the content are really, really important to us. The CMS, there's still a lot of work there, optimizing the reuse, developing the things, also some issues still there, so it's not perfect. And the digitalization, so we are also into developing a middle layer or an API so that we could actually release the modules from our system fluently to different customer front ends like AR, VR, chatbots, etc. And all this is related to things like our products. So Danfoss bought Vacon, the Finnish drives manufacturer, 5 years ago. So we still have the Vacon product line, and we have the old Danfoss Drives product line, which is called VLT. Unfortunately, we cannot totally merge the terminology of these two products because there are different functions named differently. We don't want to deteriorate the customer experience by renaming certain functions in these older products, causing confusion there. But what we really like to do is concentrate on the next-gen products that we are actually launching early next year. This is actually going to be, in drives business, totally one of the largest product launches in the history. So we are combining the best points from these two old product lines into Danfoss Drives. There's no Vacon or VLT mentioning anymore here. So these are new. And of course, there's our chance to go to the better ways of doing things, or the best ways of doing things, like term-wise, content-wise, and all that. And that's something we are really concentrating on at the moment. Again, acrolinks, of course, here, really, really affecting and helping us. Also here, related especially to common ways of working. So there's acrolinks strongly present there. We are also really into expanding the topics of our system to the whole organization, so that the whole organization would have this one clear voice, one message to the customers. That has been my mantra for many years already. And how we see it, that we have the approved, controlled, acrolinks checked content here. And of course, we use that for the documentation, user service guides, design guides, etc. We also use that to some extent already with the training material, not fully, but we are going there. We would like to use that also in the Marcom, so that the boring parts of the brochures and of the marketing texts would be the ones coming from this system. And with the boring parts, I mean these kind of things that are actually the most important things, like the tech data tables, the boring number tables, and all these technical illustrations that even the brochures use. And they are painful to maintain, but if they would be linked here, this we haven't reached yet. This is like in a plan. Then, of course, product presentations would be one obvious thing, utilizing all the approved data from here. And, of course, all the digital solutions that we have and are going to have. So the two first ones are already used, but with this idea, of course, the uniformity, efficiency, one message, single sourcing, all that would be reached. Here, as I mentioned, we are still developing the middle layer functionality, which would actually then get the data from here and intelligently share it with these digital front-end solutions. We have some interesting options. We are talking with Kone of the solution that they have, and making a proof of concept on that this year. With the help of that, we hope to get some funding from the management, of course. But we consider this as one of the most important things for the future business, actually, because it's really where the intelligence would lie. A chatbot cannot go directly here to take the module, but it needs the middle layer to get the updated information from the back end. And of course, again, you are all over there in this picture, providing the one common message. This is something I showed last year already, so I'll quickly show because I like this idea. What we do with our drives, we have some content on the display that comes from the same CMS that we use for the manuals. So, of course, there if a customer or user would use this link and get the module of information related to this software function. That would be, of course, the consistency in terminology provided by Acrolinks there, which is really important. When there's inconsistency here, and maybe in the marketing communication, you are in trouble, actually. There are concrete cases in our history that where even a product has been harmed due to this confusion caused by the inconsistent terminology. This is something we are also very interested in with the same middle layer, same middleware. Let's imagine that we are on the product page. This is just a graphic. Our product page doesn't look like this. We would like to have 5 clicks or taps from that to the desired information module. This would be the first click. Then we would have some options there, and we would click the second time. More options coming in. Let's say that we are interested in programming. That's the third click. Again, options coming in. Okay, I'm interested in parameters of the drive. I click there. And again, several options. And the fifth and last click would be then motor control parameters, if I'm interested in those. And that would bring me those parameters and some information there on my screen. And of course, then Acrolinks checked, as they come from the back end, from the data system. This is something we would really like to go into, right? So we are not there yet, but this is the whole thing of the targeted, modular, fast, easy, and relevant product information that we like the customers have. Instead of getting the big PDFs that somebody mentioned, maybe not instead, but in addition of getting those. They are not disappearing, but in addition, the exact targeted module of that exact product, that exact function that I'm interested in 5 clicks. Then a little bit about how we have started coordinate with the terminology, especially for the next generation products that I mentioned that are coming next year. This is well known in this room, especially. The consistency, very important. Our organization has taken this rather well. So my term specialist has regular meetings in small groups with product managers. Always take a selected theme. They are not going through all the things in one meeting, but they will take a selected theme, a topic, and go through that, like programming, for example, or troubleshooting, or installation instructions, or something like that. They decide on the terms with these new drives. What should we use? Actually, in many cases, we have the same function and 2 different names coming from Danfoss or Wacom history, like faults and alarms. On the Wacom drives, we have faults and alarms. On Danfoss VLT drives, we have alarms and warnings. Confusing already. So that's one example that we've done. Product marketing manager is a native English speaker taking part of this process actively. Makes the final decision with the product portfolio team, and then our linguist or term specialist adds the accepted terms into Acrolinks tool. That's in the simplicity, the process. We also have a linguistic forum that meets regularly. It's driven by Minna, my term specialist, consisting of Marcom and Techcom people of native English speakers. So there's 1 Australian, two US guys, one British person there. So all native speakers, where we really discuss on new terms, that which is the best. Do we install our drives in a cabinet or in an enclosure? I like the word cabinet. Somebody likes the word enclosure. Okay, that decision has to be made in a company level. And after that, we really try to control the use. With the next-gen drives, it seems a bit small, but at the moment we have about 85 terms in the domain. For the older generation drives, we have about 2,500, but for the new drives, especially at the moment, 85, it's getting increases by the week. And of course, we have somebody mentioned that please have the deprecated terms. We have those. Admitted, can be used, and preferred. So these 3 levels of terms we have in the system. And we try to include, of course, the definition always, sometimes even a note or an image if you want more clarification of that specific term. And then we have the term browser. Unfortunately, this link didn't work here, so I would have liked to show it to you, but basically it's like really, really good system where the whole organization can suggest a term, search for an approved term, to comment on an existing term, and then when the new term is suggested, that goes to this process again then to be accepted. It is being used already. To some extent, we are planning to go a bit more public inside our organization with that term browser because it is something that we find very handy as a tool. Okay. Just a quick look on some of the Acrolinx analytics that we use, looking similar that from Kone as well. So these kind of things we monitor. I'm not reading through the things here, but you can see that there are different metrics that we use. We don't have any reward system yet, so maybe that's something for the future to be thought of. Then finally, I would like to again proudly present our chatbot, which we launched last month. Last year I presented something already, but now we are proudly presenting that it is up and available on our website. So 29th of May, and it's based on IBM Watson conversational AI, concentrating on alarms, warnings, faults on our drives at the moment. That's the scope. This content is linked from our data CMS, which is already Acrolinx checked. And in addition, we have included some general issues that our customer hotline gets very often from the users. So some of those most general issues have been included already with the chatbot. This content has not been Acro checked yet. So that's something that, as a future action point with Acrolinx as well, to go and set up a process how we totally Acro check the chatbot content. It is residing at danfoss.com. Feel free to go and test. It's might be a little bit difficult if you don't know about our drives, what to ask, but okay, I can show you maybe something here. What I wanted to add here is that our chatbot would only like to speak with Acrolinx terms, nothing else. So he wants to be aligned with the rest of us. And here, hopefully this small video can be shown. Let's see.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. Okay, this is very short. Just like as an example how it works. There's no sound, so it's only like this. First, you have to accept the GDPR, and then you can continue. And this is the topics from the data system that you get. You can rate the answer, and you can even ask about contact information on our organization. And that's it. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. I was lucky to have the last one in the conference, and hopefully everybody was awake. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pasi Savola.